Hi guys and welcome back to my channel. If you're already a subscriber, thank you so much for being a Nini Tan. If you don't know what a Nini Tan is, they are the most adorable and honest people on the internet. If you want to be one, just subscribe to my channel. In this video, we will talk about a very uncomfortable and triggering topic, Lisa stans, and the way they vigorously target Jennie. When Blackpink debuted in 2016, they were instantly the center of attention, and as you know, with attention comes jealousy and criticism. During this time, Blinks had to be united with another K-pop fandom, which was the 2NE fandom, Blackjacks. Now a large number of Blackjacks were heavily disappointed with the debut of Blackpink because, not only was Blackpink overshadowing 2NE, they believed that Blackpink was a copy of 2NE, but prettier. YG had showed his disliking towards 2NE members' looks before, and himself admitted that he wanted Blackpink to be just a prettier version of 2NE. At this time in the K-pop industry, talent was overthrown by looks. At the time of 2NE, meaning in the second generation K-pop, talent actually mattered even more so than looks. But by the time Blackpink debuted, there was a change in the industry where now visuals suddenly mattered more than talent. Due to the continuous fights between Blinks and Blackjacks, Blinks became what they are known as now, K-pop's most toxic fandom. When you participate in so many fan wars, you develop this feeling of aggressively proving your point and destroying the opponent's point. Blinks developed that kind of an attitude. When you stan someone who is heavily criticized, or when you yourself take part in many fan wars, you develop this toxic attitude, and unfortunately Blinks had developed it right from the beginning because Blackpink had always been the target for criticism no matter what they did, or if it was actually even their fault. From Jennie's lazy scandal to Lisa's racism scandal, people always pinpointed a fault in the girls, and usually it was Jennie followed by Lisa, as they were and still are the most popular members, so naturally, they were also used by the public. One thing all Blinks know is this highly overused word on Jennie, YG's princess. From the beginning of their debut, one thing people noticed was how Jennie was apparently being favored by YG, while Lisa was being ignored. Time and time again, Jennie was seen wearing the most attractive outfits, while Lisa was apparently given the ugliest one. Blackpink's brand deals also became a cause of fan wars, as Jennie was apparently the member getting the most brand deals. Now, the reality speaks differently. Jennie was the first member to get a brand deal in 2018, but the other members left her behind by 2020, but surprisingly no one realized that. People just realized how Jennie was being favored, but didn't realize how she was getting mistreated. Don't forget how YG signed the whole of Blackpink for the Sprite advertisement, when Sprite only wanted Jennie. To conclude, Jennie was never really favored. This became a heated reason for Lisa stans to pit up against Jennie. One thing with K-pop is when the idol doesn't give you a reason for his or her actions, K-pop stans make their own reasons. Like when Jennie wasn't able to perform properly because of an injury, but fans made up their own reason, and their reason was because she was spoiled by YG. In this case, it was the fact that Lisa was Thai and not Korean. We all know how foreign idols were apparently always given different treatment by K-pop companies. And this was the under-treatment, of course. People assumed that YG treats Lisa badly because she was not a Korean idol. She was Thai. This led to a major fan war between Gen-setters and Lilies. When participating in a fan war, you need words and proofs, which Lilies had a bundle of at the time. They wanted to go against Jennie because Jennie was apparently the favorite of the company, while Lisa was the least favorite. One unnecessary thing they added to this fan war was the thought of Lisa being better than Jennie. In 2016, when Jennie forgot a line of the song, unlike other idols, she just laughed it away. In the past, other idols had claimed that forgetting lines, or even making the slightest imperfection, can lead to extreme consequences, including physical ones. So seeing Jennie just laugh it off gave people the impression that she was being spoiled by YG, and was quote-unquote, YG's princess. They felt threatened by this and claimed that Lisa should be the one getting the Jennie treatment, as unlike Jennie, Lisa was apparently in their eyes a perfect idol, who never messed up, or made mistakes like Jennie did. One important thing they missed out during this process was mindfulness and facts. If you have been paying attention, you would know that at the beginning I explained how looks had overthrown talent in K-pop at this time, so, mistake or not, it wouldn't matter because at the time K-pop companies were busy hiring top-notch makeup artists. In the second generation, the need of perfection in performance and talent was present, but moving to the third generation, that perfection had disappeared and was placed in visuals instead. K-pop companies started stressing more on physical appearance and lost care for the idols' reputations or actual jobs, which was performing. Lisa stans missed out that Jennie at the time was given the most lines in the group, so it's easy to forget them. While Lisa was the main dancer, her main job was dancing, which also didn't emphasize on her, as all the members had to dance, but all the members can't sing or rap Jennie's lines.
I'm sick of a girl that everybody tapped up a tap like everybody like you can check my sus, got everybody's like.
Jennie is also the face of the group, meaning wherever she goes, she represents her group. She also trained for 6 years, which was longer than the rest of the members, so remember, the pressure was always more on Jennie. Unfortunately, Gensetters didn't realize this at the time to fight back. But at least they get it now. Questions of Jennie's favoritism were asked by all 3 of the solo stans of Blackpink members, who weren't even indulged in the Jennie Andy war. Until now. Then came Jennie's solo, which aggressively added fuel to the fire. People were disgusted with how it was always Jennie. Rosie stan said, "Why can't it be Rosie? She's the main vocalist." Jisoo stan said, "Why can't it be Jisoo? She's the relatively better vocalist, and most of all the main visual. Jisoo isn't a better vocalist, by the way. Jennie has better techniques, and is all better, but solo stans are solo stans." Then came the cult of Lisa stans firing into the discussion with a buttload of irrelevant reasons why Lisa should get the Jennie treatment. But wait, let's rewind a bit and go back to 2018 to Jennie's lazy scandal. The amount of times the truth has been revealed and cemented, but people are still obsessed with Jennie's ankle. If you want to know the whole story behind Jennie's lazy scandal, watch my video on the truth of her lazy scandal. Link in description and pin comment. So as we all know, Jennie had a severe ankle injury at the time, and not just one. 9 ankle injuries. Let me inform you that doctors have said that ankle injuries rarely ever heal, and are a lot more serious than what they seem, because the ankle is the main part that balances your entire body. Most people can't even stand with 2 or 3 ankle injuries. Meanwhile, there was Jennie dancing on stage with 9 ankle injuries while on pain killers and an ankle guard. Anyways, this gave Lilies a perfect opportunity to criticize Jennie. Mind you, most of the hate Jennie received for her injury, and still receives, is due to Lilies, because the public had accepted the truth. But as I explained how Lilies developed this dangerously toxic behavior, they didn't want to let go of the only practical reason they have to hate Jennie, although that reason had been debunked as well. They were desperate at this point, and the only thing they wanted in life was to prove that Lisa was better than Jennie, and this scandal gave them a heads up. No one can deny the fact that Lisa stans are beyond obsessed with Jennie, but mostly this particular scandal of hers, although it's been debunked. This is because this scandal was the only thing that gave them satisfaction. The side of Jennie visibly lacking in comparison to Lisa, and Jennie being hated and criticized gave them satisfaction. That was the level of desperation and obsession they had towards Jennie. Now that this is done, let's go back to Jennie's solo debut. As I said, Lisa stans were throwing a buttload of reasons why Lisa should receive the Jennie treatment, which they claimed as facts, but in reality was their personal opinion. In their eyes, Lisa was a better dancer, a better performer with better stage presence, and could also beat Jennie in rapping and singing. I'm so sorry, but this is funny because the only truth of this is the dancing bit, other than that the rest is shit. But this time, Gen Zers had their own medicine too, and that was the fact that Jennie was the ace of Blackpink, and believe it or not, no one can deny it. Sure, you can appreciate your fave's skills, but fact is fact. And fact is that Jisoo is a below-average dancer, Rosie is a below-average rapper, and Lisa is a below-average singer. So who's left now? Jennie, and unsurprisingly Jennie stood up as way above average, and in fact good, in all three aspects unlike her members. Gen Zers also spilled the fact that Jennie was introduced to the world as YG's ace, meaning she was always the ace, or at least trained to be the ace of the group, since per debut. So agree with it or not, she is the ace of the group, and no one can deny it, not even for the sake of their faves. After this, Jennie's favoritism scandal slowly came to an end when people noticed that another member was starting to get the best outfits. You guys must be thinking Lisa, right? No, it was Rosie. Let's first talk about the clothing system. In 2016, as I mentioned, Jennie was seen wearing the best outfits. Then in 2019 it was Rosie, 2021 it was Lisa, and from 2022, it was Jisoo. One thing in common is that all the members got the best outfits just before their solos. Jennie was given the best clothes from 2016 to 2018 until her debut. From then, Rosie got the best clothes from 2019 to the beginning of 2021 until she released her solo, followed by Lisa, whose favoritism lasted for a year. And then Jisoo, who is currently still getting relatively better outfits. Mind you, this is not anyone's fault, this is simply the way YG works. Secondly, YG's system also surprisingly applies to Jennie's lazy scandal. Many of you may be wondering why YG didn't address Jennie's scandal, which led to the hate train increasing. And Jennie had to apologize herself on her own birthday for her apparent lack of interest in performances. This is because the whole time, YG was getting benefited by this entire situation. Let's go back to JENNIE. We all know that CL was the most popular member who was apparently favored by YG. But when CL and JENNIE lost hype because of Blackpink, what did YG do? He abandoned them. Similarly, when Jennie hurt her ankle and was being criticized, YG didn't help her. He abandoned her, but the difference between CL and Jennie's case is that YG used Jennie. When Jennie's scandal broke out, the only thing people were talking about is Jennie. Is she lazy? Is she tired? Is she sick? Does she need rest? All these questions came up because the former best performer of Blackpink was being entitled as the lazy performer of Blackpink. Instead of revealing the truth, YG used this for his own benefit. Because this scandal was huge, it attracted people, so they thought, who is this Jennie and why are people saying these things about her? Just like that, they searched about her and watched her videos, gaining her attention and YG money. From this scandal, they went and figured out about the rest of Blackpink and started listening to their songs, and if they liked it, they added it to their Spotify and iTunes playlist. Then they go and tell their friends about what they discovered, and their friends go and discover Blackpink. It's a cycle which gains Blackpink more popularity and YG more money. The funny thing about it is that all this benefit comes from the apparent lazy girl's injury. Guess Gen lazy is more important than you thought, huh? Just like this, the hate train of Jennie grew, but not because of any valid reason, simply because of how obsessed people were with her. As time passed, Lisa stans and their hunger to prove that Lisa was better than Jennie grew, but what was the real problem? Reality wasn't on their side. As time passed, not only Lily's and their obsession with Jennie, but Jennie herself and her popularity grew. By this time, Jennie had cemented her status as the ultimate ace of Blackpink, and that was not going to change. What actually triggered Lily's was that everything went completely not according to their plan. Instead of Lisa being the one beating Jennie, Jennie was the one topping in almost everything. Who is the ace of Blackpink? Jennie. Who is the it girl of K-pop? Jennie. Who is the most successful female K-pop idol? Jennie. Who is the most popular female idol? Jennie. Who has the most successful solo in Blackpink? Jennie. Jennie was also known more for having the best stage presence and having natural beauty, while Lisa on the other hand was popular for her stage presence, but not as much as Jennie, and was known for her plastic surgeries rather than having natural visuals like Jennie. Everything they wanted for Lisa went to Jennie, and mind you, that was also not because of YG. It was because of Jennie and her own impact in the industry, and her own hard work. By the way, no hate to Lisa whatsoever. Plastic surgery is not a crime, so I don't get why her fans try to deny it and get offended whenever someone mentions it. It's her body, her face, and her choice. This image of Lisa they manipulated themselves and others to believe was being crushed by Jennie and her success. So what did they start doing when they saw fate was not on their side? They forced it to be on their side. They lied. Now let me mention one thing. They did not have to do this. Lisa is already a successful and popular K-pop idol. The problem with Lily's is that they have always wanted Lisa and only her to be on top. Anyone else on that position would get their blood boiling. So what did they do to continue this image of Lisa they had created for themselves? They twisted the truth and practically tried to turn Lisa into a Jennie 2.0. The first lie they made, which actually made the K-pop industry angry, was stealing Jennie's long-time cemented it girl title and give it to Lisa. When they figured that no one will fall for Lisa being K-pop's it girl because she isn't that big in Korea, they moved on to the global it girl title. Mind you, an it girl title can only be officially given to someone by a global magazine. You can't just randomly call someone an it girl, but unfortunately, that is exactly what Lily's did. You see, Jennie had been given the title of an it girl by more than 5 of the world's largest global magazines from 2018, and she was, and still, is the only female idol to achieve this feat. While Lisa had no reason to be called an it girl because firstly, she was never called one by a popular magazine, and secondly, she didn't have what it takes to be an it girl. Being an it girl has standards, and the biggest standard of all is the type of aura you give off. When someone gives off an it girl aura, you can just understand it. You don't need to dig deep to find it, and in the entire K-pop industry, there are only 2 female idols who give off this aura, which are Jennie and Ives Wonyoung. This is the kind of aura which celebrities like Alexa Demi, Kendall Jenner, and Lily Rose Depp give off. In my opinion, the perfect way to describe this is the center of attention kind of aura. You can't just randomly put any celebrity in the it line, and Lisa is without a doubt one of those celebrities who are extremely popular, but not among the it line. I don't know or care how much you try to deny this, but unfortunately this is the truth, and that will not change just because a few immature fans want it to. Another thing Lily's continuously lie about to date is Lisa's achievements. Let's start off with the Guinness World Records. I as a YouTuber myself have gotten a buttload of hate for saying this, but to be honest, it's not my problem if you lie about your fave and expect me to stay quiet. This is your problem, not mine. So I will proudly say it again in this video. Lisa does not have 7 Guinness World Records. This is by far the biggest lie Lily's have told yet, as it literally made it to the news. And let me tell you this, I know for a fact that there are people who did not buy this because it's too easy to debunk. These are her 7 world records according to her fans. Now let me show you how her fans twisted the first record of Lisa achieving 1 billion streams. Yes, it is a world record, and yes, Guinness World Records did post about it on their official account. But Lisa is not the first K-pop idol to hit 1 billion streams. BTS Jimin is. He got 1 billion streams for his song Like Crazy, and his album Face in 393 days, while Lisa achieved it in 411 days. Lisa is the first among female idols giving her 1 record, not 2. Her fans wrote the same achievement twice in 2 different ways. to make it look like two different achievements. The second fake record is of her being the most followed idol. This alleged world record has not been addressed by Guinness World Records either, and is overall not a world record. It's a milestone. If it was a world record, then wouldn't Jennie have it too? Jennie is the most followed Korean woman, idol and actress, but for her it's not a world record, so for Lisa, it isn't either. Also remember that despite the number of followers, Lisa is the most followed in an industry, while Jennie is the most followed in an entire country, so for Jennie it would be more of a world record. Not to mention most of Lisa's followers aren't even real. I've mentioned this in other videos too, so I'll just give a brief explanation. Lisa's fans follow her from multiple accounts, which increases the number of followers she has, even though she's being followed by the same person just from many accounts. According to research done by people working under Instagram themselves, her real followers are lesser than 80 million, which places her second as the real most followed K-pop idol. The third fake record is her record for the most viewed MV. Similar to the last one, here as well they just wrote the same record twice in two different ways and claimed they were two different records. Other than that, all the records are valid, so out of her 7 alleged world records, 3 of them are fake, which leaves her with 4 world records. These achievements, no matter how fake they were, helped Lisa stans in fan wars, because whenever anyone would say anything about Lisa they didn't like, they would have a truck of achievements to throw on their faces to prove their one point, that Lisa is better than everyone else. But they need to understand that sooner or later, someone better than her will show up in the industry, and Lisa stans will harass that person till they fall to the edge of giving up. Unfortunately, that someone was Jennie. Another fake achievement which Lily's threw on the table is of Lisa's awards. A random Lisa stan on Twitter randomly said, Lisa has 102 awards, and of course, all Lilies believed it, but hear me out. This person said that without giving any source, proof, or even naming the awards. You can disagree and fight with me on this all you want, but I will still win because there is no proof of her having 102 awards whatsoever. But you know what there is proof of? Her having 46 awards. This is the real amount of awards Blackpink members have with proof. And Lisa has 46 awards, not 102. Ever since debut, Lilies have only had one kind of reputation, the unbelievably toxic one. To date they are witnessed as K-pop's most toxic solo fandom, who only had one aim: to prove that their fave was the best, and in order to do that, they fought, and when I say they fought hard and literally harassed whoever could have the slightest chance of surpassing, or even being similar to Lisa. The most popular target was of course Jennie. No matter how unrealistic it was, Lisa stans went out of their way to make Lisa look better than Jennie. From creating fake achievements to just spitting lies, like, Lisa is a better rapper, a better vocalist, and a better performer with better stage presence. I know some may think the stage presence one is controversial, but trust me, the only one thinking it's controversial is Lily's. Because Jennie has always been known for natural stage presence since her debut. Jennie never had to do the things Lisa does in order to have good stage presence, which is literally just adding extra energy and sweat to everything, shouting on the mic, continuously just winking and smirking and hyping everything and everyone. Meanwhile, Jennie has actual stage presence, and that's because of her aura and charisma. When I say Jennie has natural stage presence, I can't quite explain it, but you'll understand if you see her performances. And when I say performances, I mean the full performance, not a bunch of 10-second clips. Since per debut you can see a charm in Jennie which doesn't need to be explained, because you can't explain it. Jennie is one of the rarest idols out there, with a type of charisma that just cannot be explained. If you watch her performances you'll understand, but I'll explain whatever I can. For starters, she doesn't scream on the microphone, and actually has power in her voice while singing or rapping. She has excellent energy, and you would know that if you didn't judge her by a bunch of 10-second clips of her resting, like all the members did, or at the end of a freaking tour concert. Jennie's stage presence is one of the best in K-pop because of how natural it seems. It doesn't have the capability to cringe or annoy anyone with an extra sense of force like in Lisa's stage presence. Just look at this video. She has energy, facial expressions on top, power in her voice, and just an alluring aura. Lisa would do the same thing, which just side eyes and smirks while not singing or rapping the part, but shouting it on the mic, which Jennie didn't do. I hope you understand the difference between their stage presence. What I'm trying to explain is how Jennie's presence on stage is more natural, while Lisa's is more pre-planned and more about hyping than actually performing. Just like this. Lilies formed a different version of Lisa, which was far from reality, and told themselves that this version of Lisa, which they manipulated themselves to believe was the real Lisa, and this is exactly what made them a completely different level of toxic. They became obsessed with the Lisa they had created, who was unlike the real Lisa. This fan-made Lisa was the most popular K-pop idol, even surpassing BTS Maknae. She was followed by actual people, has all the records and achievements in the world, was a natural beauty who was the best at absolutely everything. Because of this imaginary Lisa, they had become obsessed with. Any idol even coming close to resembling it was severely bashed by Lilies, such as NMIXX Lily for physical appearance, and twice as Momo for dancing. But did you realize one thing? This version of Lisa, which Lilies couldn't stop obsessing over, was Jennie. I can guarantee that every K-pop stan has seen Lisa fan accounts talking negatively about Jennie. That sort of behavior is caused due to insecurity. When you talk about someone else negatively while comparing him or her to someone you like, it means you are insecure. This type of rude behavior means that deep down, whoever is talking shit about Jennie also strongly disagrees with whatever he or she is saying, him or herself, because they would have never compared Jennie with their fave if they actually thought Jennie was no better. But because they do, they feel the urge to talk bad about Jennie just to make their fave look better and give themselves a mental relief. Jennie is, in short, their trigger point. They would have never done this if they thought Lisa was actually at the top. Most solo stans, specifically of Lisa and Jisoo, really hate Jennie, and this is solemnly because they are insecure about themselves and their fave, so they talk shit about Jennie because Jennie is someone they genuinely think could beat their fave. They wouldn't care and talk about Jennie so much if they actually thought their fave was better. Lisa stans also continuously bring up Lisa in Jennie's videos. I have seen this numerous times. An example is in one of my video about Jennie's success. A toxic Lisa stan commented, and Lisa broke all of those. This person was obviously a solo stan, so I wonder what he or she was doing in a Jennie video. The fact that this solo stan of Lisa got triggered enough by seeing Jennie's achievements, he or she had to make this irrelevant and incorrect comment, just proves the amount of insecurity Jennie has put upon these poor people. Jennie makes these people feel like they for some reason need to compare their faves with her. These solo stans wouldn't do these kind of things if they actually thought their faves were the best, or if Lisa actually did break all of Jennie's records. The fact that they keep comparing Jennie with Lisa and bringing her up in videos about Jennie shows that they take Jennie as a challenge. She is considered to be an idol who can actually beat other idols in almost all criteria, even by solo stans, which leads to them showing this toxic behavior. Mind you, most stans of Jennie don't do this kind of act. Another example is my personal experience. This one time I tweeted about Jennie as Lisa stans were hating on her a lot for absolutely no reason. And in the comment section I got a lot of Lisa stans trying to prove their point and calling me insecure and jealous. But in reality it's them who feel insecure and jealous because they are the ones who got triggered enough to comment While I was just defending my fave. Usually in these situations, when you genuinely believe what the person is saying is wrong, you just ignore. Like when I see someone calling Jennie something like a bad rapper, I just scroll because I know that it's fake, so I don't care or react. But in this case, Lisa's fans definitely cared and reacted. When in reality, if they actually believed that I was the jealous or insecure one, and they were correct, then they would have just scrolled and ignored me. But they didn't, which shows that they know and believe that there is a truth behind what I said, so they got triggered and left hate comments. I'm sure everyone has heard Lily's other toxic solo stans, or simply just haters, which are actually mostly Lily's and jealous-ass solo stans, calling Jennie names like Jen Slot, Jen Lazy, Jen Pig, and more. That happens because they are scared, insecure, and obsessed at the same time. They are scared of her achievements. They make up names for her because they are afraid of her achievements, so, before anyone can shut them up with a single achievement, they start calling her names to somehow keep the hate train going on. For instance, if I say, Jennie is the most streamed Korean woman, they'll just randomly call her something like Jen Lazy, and avoid the achievement, acting like they don't care when in reality, they do, which is why they commented in the first place. Her success triggered them. The fact that they always avoid her achievements, or make up excuses, just proves how scared they are of getting their true feelings exposed. They are obsessed with her. This entire situation implies that they actually care about her, because if they actually disliked her, they wouldn't even talk about her, rather than calling her names, because then they would be uninterested in her. But because she attracts them and they are miserable, they call her names. Remember that this is something fans do and not haters, indicating a sign of obsession within Jennie and eyes. They are insecure of her success. They are too insecure towards themselves or their faves to digest her great success. So they just make up negative names to cover up that insecurity and to give themselves mental relief. They feel insecure on seeing her achieving, so calling her negative names gives them satisfaction internally. The whole point on these haters even existing in the first place is because she is popular. If she wasn't popular, people wouldn't even know her to hate her in the first place, but because she is, they hate her. They indirectly prove her popularity, and these pathetic and irrelevant names they call her, like lazy or slut, indirectly proves their fear, obsession, and insecurity towards this popularity that she has. These little shady things Lily's do expose their true feelings towards Jennie, which is jealousy, insecurity, and obsession. I don't blame them, because Jennie is truly an enviable woman, but going as far as to giving her death threats and insulting her mother is just not right. Especially when Lisa and Jennie love each other. They always support each other, so why can't their fandoms? The amount of time Lily's have lied and hated is disgusting. If you love Lisa, do it by admiring her, not by creating a fake version of her, and then worshipping that version, and in the process trying to ruin someone else's career. Love Lisa for who she is, not the robotic toy you've created her into. In this video, I am not trying to insult or hate on Lisa in any way. The target in this video is not her. It's her fans, so if you took it the wrong way, please understand. And don't get offended if she is your bias. I'm not saying lilies are the only toxic ones, or that all lilies are toxic. Every single fandom has a toxic side. And some gen-setters also hate Lisa like lilies, due to Jennie. Not all lilies are toxic, but we have to admit that most are. What's upsetting to me is how they don't stan Lisa, they stan someone else as Lisa, and that is the most disappointing to me. Lying about her and overrating her to make her a person she is not right. As a fan, they should appreciate both her weaknesses and strengths, and remember that she is a human too, and is not perfect. They need to realize that Lisa is not best at everything, and that's okay because no one is. I want them to respect her the way she is and stay within their boundaries, which unfortunately is beyond crossed by them.